Hi everyone. Do you want to build a web application not only for free, but using totally vibe coding and with an open source alternative of bold.new, which is called bold.diy, is one of the most powerful applications out there. And I found basically a free open source version which allow you to use with the same design like you would do with the bold.new, but with in a much cheaper way and possibly also for free with some models like Google Gemini, Google Studio API, which is basically free, and or Llama or other free API. So let's dive into it. First of all, you need to go to, you can check for bolt.diy. This is basically, it's like using Manus in your local PC. If you digit bolt.diy, you will find the code on GitHub that you can clone to your repository. So you can go to the code section, you can copy this one, then you can open your IE of choice. In my case, I have Visual Studio Code. What I did is I created a folder on my PC anywhere really. You can even go to your PC, see folder, user, and your user, and you can create a folder even here. You can call it project, and inside you can clone your project. In my case, I did this elsewhere. Well, it doesn't matter. It's on my own PC. You can create though a folder. Then you can, when you enter to Visual Studio Code, you can do File, Open Folder, and you can open that folder. Mine probably is here. Is this one, and you will have the project open. Then make sure to open the terminal to work on the code, and basically you will not have this till you don't go to, probably you will have, when you open Visual Studio Code, you will have an empty IDE. What you will do is to go to your terminal, to cd to the folder that you created on your desktop or anywhere in your PC, and then you need to do git clone and you can paste the code I showed you just before in the GitHub repository. Obviously, you should have Git installed. If you're not a totally beginner, you would know this, that you need to install Git. And once you install Git, you can run this command. This will download the basic, fetch all the code, and it will show you to you here. Once you do that, you can now follow the guide that is in the docs, the bold DIY. You can follow basically the docs. You can go to the setup section, and as you can see, it asks you to install Git. It asks you to install Node.js. This is basically to make you, if you're totally beginner and you want to do it from scratch. And then after installing, you need to make sure that the Node.js path is into your environment variables. So basically follow everything is here. Step number 1, number 2, number 3. Then you clone the repository in the way I shown. I said to you that you create a folder in your PC. You create in the terminal. You do cd and the path of the project where that you created, and there, once you cd in there, you can run git clone and the repository, which will download the code here, which will show here. At that point, you can follow step by step all the instruction for Windows if you have Mac, and you might want to set up the environment variables. Basically, if you want to use OpenAI, then you might want to top up GitHub API so that you can get some credit to use, and so on with whatever AI and LLM you might want to use. And then the way you can run within here. First, you can, once you have Node and installed npm, you can basically follow step by step, run npm install, run pnpm, eventually npm run dev, and then ultimately what will happen is that you will get running the application in local. That's what I did. I ran the application. As you can see, I used the npm command. As you can see, I run the application, it's continuing, I click to the link, and it will open DIY. I currently connected it with GPT credit right now. And you can do so with whatever way you wish. You can see, you can select any of you can use also Mistral. You can set up an API key from Mistral, or you can use probably Google Gemini, you could use. Those are the model up to date right now, but I believe soon they will update with the model 2.5, which is the best right now. You can use Anthropic with the 3.7 model. Even GitHub has its own model, 3.5, etc. You can even choose DeepSeek, and you can even choose Llama, as you can see. I will choose OpenAI as I set up the environment variable with it. How did I do that? I created the environment.env.local, inserted the variable of OpenAI to the correct one. I'm not showing you which one because obviously otherwise you can use the API key yourself, which is not what I want. So now you are ready to build application with bold.DIY. What you can do next, you can use another open source library, which is called n8n. This library allows you to set up multiple agents for you. You can either pay using the monthly subscription in the pricing, as you can see here. You can either choose any of those plan, or you can even host on your local machine the server so that you can run from your PC totally for free, which is actually the case for in this video. To check how to do that, you can go to docs and click to self-host n8n, and you can follow the guide. I chose the Docker guide. You can go through it. It's very well done. If you're really a beginner, you need to download Docker desktop, and then you need to run these commands as is written here, and you will have to set up PostgreSQL, which is shown here how to do that. So basically just follow step by step. This is definitely, it helps if you have a bit tech savvy or a little bit tech savvy to succeed on that. But eventually you will get to here. Let's see. I set up, you will have to create your account, set it up. You can use to test a ready to go agent example or start from scratch. You can create your credentials, especially at the beginning when you set up an environment the first time. You have to do it. Probably have to do it again because I switched off the PC and have to do again. So I'll do just that. We run those commands. Now I've run n8n, which is now available. You can see here there is a new update. To run the update, you can run this command. Let's actually update. So we stop, run the command, and this hopefully will update my n8n with the newest version. Make sure also to update bold.diy because basically they update very frequently these libraries. We'll run a git pull from the repository, pnpm install again, and npm run or pnpm dev. In the meantime, I'm updating 8n. Now we got up to date bolt.ai. I just double check if they added the newest version of Google Gemini. Not yet. I believe that in the next iteration they will. By the way, the ChatGPT 4.0 latest version is at the same level or similar. Another thing I installed is NGROK, which is basically another library which allow you to configure with API in your local machine. The problem is that when you run with the API services on the web, that there will not be the need to use NGROK necessarily. But because you're running and you're calling those APIs in your local machine, this is the NGROK allow you just to do that. To use it, you just have to follow the instructions in the documentation. You can follow step by step, but eventually you will have to run a few commands like here, brew install NGROK, which I did, and then connect your account with NGROK config, add out and token. And to get the token, you will have to click here and set up your installation and get your token. This will allow you to put your app online. As you can see, I click to that. Here you can find the string to copy with your token. I already did it and I run the command, so I don't need to do that. Are ready. We can either set up the n8n agents. Here is our n8n. Let's start from scratch. Now we started. We click to start one from scratch. We add the first step. We trigger manually. Now we go to Gemini and we ask actually to create an n8n workflow which allow me to auto add title, description, and tags to a YouTube video added. I basically want to create an app which allow to connect with my YouTube account and automatically update the title, description, and the tag that I wish to add. Let's see what come out with title, description, and tags to YouTube video added, or which I wish to add. I'm not familiar with this YouTube side of API connection, so we'll let us rely on Gemini what will come out with, will come up with. So Google Gemini gave me some instructions. I will follow exactly how it is asked, step by step. Seems like a lot of steps to follow. By the way, something more that I want to show you to be faster probably than this is that you can go to template, you can select the stack, which the type of API you might want to connect, for example, YouTube, and there are already some workflow that you might want just to plug in. For example, automatically create YouTube metadata with AI. You might want to click on them and you can use for free. And then you can click get started with n8n cloud. Well, if you want to pay, but in our case, it's not our case. You can click to open self-hosting installation docs. You can follow the steps, which we did, and run manually probably. So this probably can be used if you have the cloud subscription. So if you don't, I feel you might have to create from scratch yourself. And you can follow the guide anyway, you can get there anyway. I will go through it myself and then I will show you the result of it. So I got the solution. So basically what you need to do, you can go to Gemini, you can ask the workflow you wish to do, you can ask to give you the workflow in JSON file for your n8n format. Obviously, you will notice that there will be required some APIs. For example, here is selecting for OpenAI the GPT 3.5 Turbo. You can select whatever LLM you need to select. You need to select the OpenAI credential ID and basically the credential of OpenAI. You need to fill correctly. Also, you need to go to your YouTube credential, your YouTube credential ID, so you can search on Google documentation how to get that. Basically, you need to fill them in correctly. Version ID, probably something unique. But to get to the point that then you will then you go here. The way I imported this, I basically copied this workflow, created a new notepad, paste there, called the file .json, and imported that file in the n8n, clicking here and import from file, and this created this workflow. Now it will be just a matter of clicking inside it and checking the settings that are correct. For example, we don't have even to change the JSON. We can simply add the credential to the one we added. And the same thing, we can change from OpenAI to any other LLM. By the way, on YouTube, the same thing. You can connect with a credential, create a new credential. You can figure out how to add the correct API keys. You have a workflow ready to work, basically. Once you have workflow running, and by the way, not to make the video so long, I will not do it here. But basically, here you can connect all the APIs. Then you can go to bold.DIY, and when you develop the app, you can select the n8n workflow. So basically, you can say to plug the call of the APIs through n8n from this link. Once you do that, that will connect the app using this workflow. This is something new I'm getting into. So I want to share you so far how did I set up bold.DIY, how did I set up n8n, and how did I get into getting the workflow from scratch from Google Gemini and importing it into n8n so that can be used by both DIY. I hope with this video you start getting the flow and understanding how all stuck together in the end when you build an application so that you can plug easily application with AI, LLM, and with any API, just with a matter of few tools and agentic libraries that are out there. And n8n is a free option if you run it into your local machine. To do that, you can potentially do everything for free. Get free LLM like Llama running. Basically, you can start getting work done for free with those tools. Let me know if you wish me to go more in depth to remake a video more flowing in a flowing way where everything is working. So far, I want to show you how I did the setup, everything. Hopefully, I will continue the video with the setup done and showing you how this all works. Here I'm back. I basically fixed all the workflow. What was after what I did with the Gemini workflow help with the JSON file, which I showed you that I imported. What I did is to add for each of the steps of the workflow the correct count data and API key to allow, for example, for the GPT 3.5 to work, so to connect correctly with API. Probably later I will change with the better version of the ChatGPT. And then I did the same with YouTube. I set up YouTube API on cloud, set up the client secret and the client API details. I set up the application. Basically, there are different steps to set up an application and Google Cloud to set up to receive the API access to your YouTube channel. It was quite a long step, a few back and forth to set up, and then I got this secret which allowed me to set up the workflow correctly. In the credentials I set up is there where I set up the data correctly, and the OpenAI account I did the same, made sure that it all works, and basically now it's all ready to, is all plugged. The API are all potentially working. So if I start to develop the application in bold.DIY, I could actually connect easily with this API through the URL that I set up. That's it from now. Let me know if you want to go further with this tutorial. Remember to subscribe the channel and see you in the next video.